Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I'm your host, Rabina Rastaban, aka The Realist Astrologer. And I get a lot of requests for free readings and for me to look at people's charts free of charge. And a lot of times I'm very overwhelmed. So while I would like to honor everyone's requests, I do have to make my paying clients a priority. So what I decided to do is sometimes when some people come to me for insight and they're not trying to come up off of any cash or whatever, it could be because they're going through financial hardship, could be because they're just a freeloader. I decided to take the opportunity to just give them a mini free reading via video. So this is going to be a mini free reading for this gentleman that came to me. I knew him prior through my daughter. So he came to me about a month ago, and he asked me if I could, give him some insight into his life and some of the issues that he's going through. So I told him, yeah, I could do that. But I said, I'll do that when I get a chance. So like I said, it's been a month since he contacted me. And because I've been so swamped with work, I haven't been able to address his issues and look at his chart and all of that stuff. So I'm going to take the time to do that now. Right now, I'm in the process of trying to finish up this natal chart. But in order to avoid getting burnt out, I have to take many breaks here and there. So I said, why don't I just use this opportunity right now while I'm taking a break to discuss this gentleman's natal chart. I'll send him the link to the video so he can check it out himself. I'm going to keep this person's name anonymous because I'm pretty sure he wouldn't like his name out there like that. But I will provide the birthday, not the year, but I'm going to provide the day, the month and the day. And that way he'll know that, I'm referring to him. So let me just get into his chart real quick. Okay, so this gentleman was born on January 22nd, so he has a birthday coming up. So this is actually good that I'm doing this reading for him now because, yeah, maybe it'll be a good little birthday present for him. So I should also pull his solar return chart to see what energy he's working with, but I really don't have time for all that. And besides, like I said, I have to make my paying clients a priority. So I'm just going to get into some of the main issues I see in his chart. So he has a big time stellium in Aquarius. He has his sun in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius. They're both at the 2nd degree. Moon in Aquarius at the 3rd degree. So he has this tight stellium consisting of his Mercury, Sun, and Moon in Aquarius. And then he has Saturn in Aquarius, and this is all taking place in his 9th house. So this basically drives the point of liberation and freedom home, also independence. But also he's very much about being affiliated with certain groups, and that can actually help him to grow in life and to attain his aspirations. So that's one thing I would tell you. In order to achieve your aspirations, it would be advantageous to affiliate yourself with a group that is like-minded, that basically has the same philosophy that you do, or that basically is supporting your interests or whatever like that, a group that pertains to what you're trying to achieve in life. So that's very important for you to do. Affiliate yourself with certain groups of people and organizations. Also, another issue that I see, so let me just back up. That stellium in Aquarius alone, especially since your sun and moon are included in that mix, is going to be very hard to be in traditional relationships. So, and I think you already have this issue with cheating. So, that basically explains why it's so hard for you to be faithful with one woman. And then to add insult to injury, you have a square between Venus in Pisces and your North Node in Sagittarius, and that is taking place between your 10th and 7th houses. So that right there can manifest as a situation like, say like you're in a relationship, you're trying to be good, you're trying to be faithful, but then here comes this cute young slimmy at your job, and next thing you know, she's giving you the eye, she's flirting with you and stuff. Next thing you know, y'all are going to lunch. Next thing you know, y'all are humping in the backseat of your car on a lunch break. So that's how that can manifest right there. So I'm just here to tell you that you're not really built for a traditional relationship. You're really built for an open relationship, or with a person that is very tolerant of your need for freedom. And the reason why I stress freedom is because of that stellium in the 9th house, but also you got Sagittarius on your 7th house cusp. Sagittarius is a sign of relationship. I'm sorry, the 7th house is the house of relationships. Sagittarius is a sign of freedom. So there it is right there. Also, you got your North Node in Sagittarius in the 7th house, which means that in this lifetime, you need to become more free. You don't need relationships that are going to try to confine you too much. You don't need relationships that are going to try to keep you in a certain box. You don't need relationships that are going to stifle your growth. So it's very important that any partner that you choose is going to be very tolerant, and maybe even tolerant of the fact that every now and then you're going to have a hankering to get some strange, to basically dip your tool into some new waters. So yeah, basically you're fighting an uphill battle by trying to be in a monogamous relationship. I can tell you that right there. You're constantly going to be butting your head against a brick wall. Now, your Mars is in Cancer, which makes you very much about women. Like, you basically need women like you need air. Mars and Cancer men, basically, like, women are everything to them, but at the same time, that can cause you to have serious conflicts with women, starting with your mother. Mars and Cancer can also end up in domestic violence situations. So if you get with a mate that is combative, there's a good chance that you and her are going to come to blows, and that the cops will be called at some point, or it might be more than once. So you got to be very careful about that. Your Mars is retrograde, which is even worse. That can make you actually self-destructive, or it can make it where, you keep a bunch of anger in to the point where it gets to be so much that you just blow up when things get to a crescendo. So you got to be careful with that Mars and Cancer right there. Also, you have Mars and Cancer square Jupiter and Libra. That reinforces what I said about you having issues with being faithful, issues with being monogamous. Jupiter is in Libra. Libra is the sign of relationships, so that reinforces Sagittarius on the 7th house cusp. So you got it pretty bad with respect to relationships. That's if you want to be in a traditional relationship. There's a good chance it's not going to work long term. Let me see what else you got. You're a Nepturanian. Nepturanian is a term that I've coined for individuals that were born in between 1989 and 1996. Basically, you are called to fulfill a special purpose, but as a Nepturanian, you could also be dealing with some special issues, namely with employment, because that conjunction is in Capricorn. So the issue with Nepturanians is they want to be liberated, but at the same time, they are utterly dependent upon the system or their parents or both. So it's like you got to choose one. Do you want to be liberated, or do you want to continue to be dependent upon a system or dependent upon other people? Your Nepturanian conjunction is in the 8th house, which makes matters worse because that can point to being in codependent relationships, simply for the fact of maintaining security or achieving security, or for the fact of basically increasing your status. So, or improving your status, I should say. So, yeah, basically you have to put freedom first. Freedom, spirituality, higher knowledge, and also the ability to be able to be open and honest with people. Because the more you lie, the more you're two-faced, this deals with your South Node in Gemini, the more problems you're going to attract in your life. So you got to be open and honest with people. You have to always put your need for freedom first, even if that means that you have to break up with somebody. Because being in a traditional relationship where it's this constant, struggle between your need for freedom and your desire to be in a monogamous relationship, that's always going to result in mental turmoil. Also, because your South Node is in Gemini, just know that any person that you get with that's a Gemini, so if you have a Gemini girlfriend, if you have a Gemini girlfriend, there's a good chance that things are going to be very messy in that relationship. Basically, it's a karmic relationship. There's a good chance the two of you knew each other in a past life. So there's some unfinished business that the two of you need to work out, but it doesn't mean that the two of you need to be together. So just keep that in mind. Just because the two of you came together at one point doesn't mean that you're supposed to stay together, because there's a good chance that when you stay in a South Node relationship, you're not going to be fulfilled, and you're going to be basically attracting unnecessary drama that you could totally avoid by not dealing with that Gemini person. So that's my little mini reading for you. Let me know if you have any questions. And happy birthday to you in advance, because your birthday is coming up soon. And I hope that this year is much better than the previous years for you. And I hope that you start to really live according to your truth. Peace and many blessings. Oh, and if anybody would like a reading, just go to my website at Rabina.com. And I'm thinking about just starting out with the free readings like I was doing last year, but I stopped doing that because I got busy or whatever like that. But so you can take this as the first free reading of my series of free readings. So if you would like a free reading, just leave a comment in the comment section. You can provide your birthday as well as the birthday of the person of interest, or it could just be about yourself. You can also provide a background story as well, or you could just provide some type of particular challenge that you're going through that you would like me to look into. Okay, peace and many blessings.